Welcome back to the Working With Me podcast. Today we're going deep diving into something
Okay.
that can really transform, how teams work together.
Yeah.
And that is working with me documents.
Uh, mm,
You know, it's fascinating. We spend so much time focusing on the technical skills
yeah.
needed for a job,
Yeah.
but so often overlook how individual work styles, can impact a team's success.
That's so true. It's like having all the ingredients, for like a delicious meal,
Right.
but no recipe to bring it all together. And I think that that's really where working with me documents come in.
Yeah.
They provide the instructions for how to blend those individual strengths and preferences, into a cohesive,
Right.
high-performing team.
Exactly. And we've got some great sources for our deep dive today.
Okay.
So we've got excerpts from a website,
Okay.
workingwithmedoc.card.fu.
Hmm.
And it offers a tool to create a personalized Working With Me document. And then we also have a more academic article that digs into the benefits and best practices, for
Yeah.
implementing these documents within teams.
Right.
What really jumped out at me was the sheer range of advantages mentioned. Reduced misunderstandings,
Mm.
better efficiency, stronger client relationships. It makes you wonder, can a simple document really unlock all of that?
But it's not just about the document itself, it's about the self-awareness that it sparks.
Yeah.
I think of it like this, creating a working with me document. It's like holding up a mirror to your work style.
Hmm.
It forces you to ask, how do I communicate best? What are my strengths? What are my blind spots?
It's a journey of self-discovery.
Yeah.
And that's something that really resonated with me in the article, this idea of moving from self-awareness to team awareness.
Right.
But before we dive into that, let's take a step back for listeners who might be hearing about this for the first time. What exactly is a Working With Me document?
It's essentially a guide for how to collaborate effectively with you.
Yep.
So imagine handing your colleagues a user manual that outlines, your work style, your preferences, and even your goals. It's like saying, hey, here's the best way to communicate with me. Here's how I approach problem solving, and here's what I need to thrive in this work environment.
I love that analogy of a user manual. It makes it so clear and approachable.
Yeah.
And what I find really intriguing is that the website we have here actually has a try-it-free tool.
Oh, cool.
You answer a few questions, and within hours, you get a tailored Working With Me document delivered straight to your inbox.
Wow.
That's incredibly convenient, and it probably makes the whole process a lot less daunting.
It does. And what's even more fascinating is what happens during that process of answering those questions.
Yeah.
That's where the real magic of self-reflection kicks in. You're forced to pause and consider, how you operate in a professional setting.
The article we have dives deeper into this self-awareness journey,
Yep.
and it highlights a really crucial point. Crafting this document isn't just about telling others how to work with you. It's about gaining a deeper understanding of yourself.
Absolutely. By taking the time to articulate, your preferences and work style, you're actually engaging in a process of self-discovery.
Yeah.
It's like unearthing hidden gems about how you operate best, which can be incredibly valuable not just for your professional life,
Yeah.
but for your personal growth as well.
It's like shining a light on those subconscious habits and preferences that we often don't even realize are driving our behavior.
Yeah, for sure.
And once you've brought those to the surface, you can start to understand how they impact your interactions with others.
Right.
This is where that team awareness comes into play.
Right.
It's not just about knowing yourself. It's
Yeah.
about sharing that knowledge with your team and creating a shared understanding of how everyone works best.
Right. So how does this transition from self-awareness to team awareness actually work in practice?
Yeah. What does it look like when a team embraces this concept of Working With Me documents?
So imagine a team where everyone has taken the time to create and share their Working With Me documents. Suddenly, those little misunderstandings and frustrations that used to derail projects,
Yeah.
they start to disappear.
It's like everyone has a cheat sheet
Right.
for understanding each other's communication styles,
Mm-hmm.
work preferences, and even, those little quirks that can sometimes cause friction.
Exactly. Let's say you have a team member who thrives in a structured environment, loves detailed plans,
Yeah.
prefers to communicate through email.
Right.
Then you have another who's highly creative, thrives on brainstorming sessions,
Right.
prefers quick, instant messages.
Yeah.
Without that understanding of each other's work styles, you can see how conflict could easily arise.
Oh, absolutely. The structured planner might feel frustrated by, those creative bursts of energy,
Yeah.
while the more spontaneous team member might feel stifled by all the planning.
But with working with me documents, these two individuals can understand each other's approaches from the get-go. The planner can anticipate those bursts of creative energy and build flexibility into the schedule,
Right.
while the more spontaneous team member can appreciate the value of the planner's organization. It's
Yeah.
about recognizing that different isn't wrong, it's just different.
And that understanding
Yeah.
that team awareness is what allows for true collaboration to flourish.
Right.
It's not about forcing everyone into the same mold,
Mm.
but rather creating an environment where diverse work styles can complement each other.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that leads to some pretty remarkable benefits, for individuals and the team as a whole.
Yeah.
For example, the article mentions reduced misunderstandings as like a major advantage.
Yeah, that one really stood out to me as well. It's easy to underestimate the impact of miscommunication.
Right.
It can lead to wasted time,
Ah.
missed deadlines, a whole lot of frustration.
Think about a scenario where a team is working on a tight deadline, and one team member is waiting on crucial information from another,
Yeah.
but their communication styles clash. One prefers detailed emails,
Right.
the other quick phone calls. The information gets lost in translation. The deadline is missed. Everyone is left feeling stressed and frustrated.
Oof. That's a situation we can probably all relate to on some level.
Yeah.
Incredibly frustrating when something as simple as miscommunication throws a wrench in the whole project.
Exactly. But imagine if that team had working with me documents in place.
Right.
They would know in advance how to best communicate with each other, ensuring that crucial information is delivered in a timely and effective manner.
It's about proactively addressing potential communication barriers before they even arise.
And that's just one example. The article also highlights improved collaboration and enhanced efficiency as major benefits of implementing these documents.
Yeah, those go hand in hand, don't they?
Absolutely.
When team members understand each other's work styles, collaboration becomes more seamless.
Right.
And that naturally leads to increased efficiency.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you know that your colleague thrives on brainstorming sessions, you'll be more likely to schedule one when you need to generate ideas.
Right.
If you understand that another colleague prefers to have clear written instructions, you'll be sure to provide that when assigning tasks. It's about tailoring your approach to match the needs of your team members.
It's about working smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
And it's not just about getting the work done more quickly.
Right.
It's about creating a more enjoyable and fulfilling work experience for everyone involved.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, both of our sources also point to increased employee satisfaction as a key benefit. What are your thoughts on that connection between working with me documents and a happier workforce?
I think when team members feel understood and respected, it just creates a more positive and supportive work environment.
Yeah, it's that feeling of being seen and heard, which can be so powerful.
Exactly. And when people feel valued for who they are and how they work best, it boosts morale and job satisfaction. Imagine coming to work every day, knowing that your colleagues understand your strengths and are willing to adapt their communication style to yours. That's a recipe for a happy and productive team.
It takes the pressure off having to constantly adjust or explain yourself. You can just be you and focus on doing your best work.
And that sense of belonging and acceptance, can have a ripple effect throughout the entire organization, leading to increased loyalty, reduced turnover, and a stronger overall company culture.
It's amazing how something as simple as a document can have such a profound impact on the workplace.
It's not just about the document itself, it's the conversations it sparks and the culture of understanding it fosters.
Speaking of impact, our sources also touch on how working with me documents can strengthen client relationships. Can you elaborate on that a bit?
Absolutely. Just as understanding your colleagues' work styles can lead to smoother collaborations, the same principle applies to your interactions with clients.
So it's about extending that same level of empathy and awareness to those external stakeholders.
Imagine you're working with a client who prefers concise communication and quick decisions. You know this because they've shared their Working With Me document. With that knowledge, you can tailor your approach, sending them brief updates rather than lengthy reports and being prepared to make decisions efficiently.
It's about meeting them where they are and respecting their preferences, which can lead to stronger relationships and increased trust.
Exactly. It shows that you value their time and are committed to making the collaboration, as smooth and productive as possible.
So working with me, documents aren't just an internal tool. They can be a valuable asset for building stronger client relationships as well.
They're a way of extending that culture of understanding and respect beyond the walls of your organization.
As we've been discussing all these benefits, I've been reflecting on my own team and how we could implement these documents. What advice would you give to someone who's just starting out on this journey?
I think the first step is to simply start the conversation. Encourage your team members to reflect on their own work styles and preferences. What are their communication strengths and weaknesses? What kind of environment allows them to thrive?
It's about creating that safe space for that open and honest self-reflection.
Exactly. And remember that the website we mentioned earlier, workingwithmedoc.card.co, offers a free tool to help individuals create their own personalized Working With Me documents. It's a great resource to get started.
And once those documents are created, it's important to make them easily accessible and to encourage that ongoing dialogue.
Absolutely. These documents should be living, breathing guides that evolve as people's work styles and preferences change.
So regular check-ins and team discussions about how these documents are being used would be beneficial.
Yes, it's about creating a culture of continuous improvement where these documents are seen as valuable tools for enhancing team dynamics and achieving shared goals.
This has been such an enlightening deep dive into the world of working with me documents. It's clear that embracing self-awareness and team awareness can lead to a more harmonious, productive, and ultimately fulfilling work experience for everyone.
It's a journey worth taking, and the benefits are well worth the effort.
Thank you for listening to the Working With Me podcast. We hope you found this deep dive insightful and inspiring. Remember, self-awareness is the key to unlocking your full potential and building stronger, more effective teams. And don't forget to check out workingwithmedoc.card.co to start your Working With Me journey today. Until next time.